Ah, wonder what this button does. That's nice, cool. Quite a few things that I want to get through today, and the first thing is a very big thank you to all of my subscribers. Didn't think I'd get to 1,000 subscribers, to be absolutely honest. This is kind of a call to action, sorry, for me. And I guess now would be a good time to actually announce some changes that I'm going to be making in the next year. But before I get to that, I believe a few things are in order. First thing in order is, of course, apologies. Lots of apologies. Personal apology to each and every single one of you, my subscribers, because let's be honest, I haven't been contributing as much to my channel as I could have, and I'm quite confident that my reasons for not doing so are, well, enough. Um, so, two big reasons really. The first one being I've actually gone back to study in university or college, depending on where you are in the world, and I'm there because, well, I want to improve my qualifications. My current teaching qualifications is not enough by Australian standards, so of course, if I want to teach here in Australia, which is of course my other passion, is teaching and games development, and a little bit of gaming on the side, but not too much. But my two big passions are of course education and games development, and if I want to continue teaching in games development or teaching in general, I do need to keep up with the legal requirements. So I've been there getting updating my qualifications so I can keep my job and find better work actually. And the other reason why I haven't been uploading, and this one's actually related to games development, is because I have actually been contracted out. I've been doing some paid work, some unpaid work for not big studios, but bigger studios that I've worked with before. I've also worked with small teams, and in the case of one particular person, with a one-man studio. So that was quite an interesting experience. It's kind of lonely, especially since there's only one other person to talk to in a Google Hangouts. But a job is a job. So those are really the only two reasons why I haven't been contributing, apart from the obvious fact that I don't actually get paid for these YouTube videos. But hopefully in 2016 that will change, along with changes to the channel itself. So since we're on that topic, why don't we go through some of the changes that are coming in the new year? The first thing, of course, is going to happen is a Patreon campaign. I'm going to be starting one of those. Now, if you've seen the last two videos, or at least the video before this one, you would also have noticed that I did say that I was planning to start a Patreon campaign. Now, the idea was to actually start it in November this year. That's November 2015, but of course now it is December. I am well aware of the time and date, and so obviously I want everybody to have a break, and I myself am having a break for Christmas and the New Year. So I've decided to put a start on it on the 30th of January 2016. So that's when my Patreon campaign will officially start, and of course I'll post up another video well before then to give everybody a heads up. And now there's a few more things as well. There's a few more things that I want to get through. So obviously I can't just keep going with a level design and the miscellaneous environment art stuff that I've been doing up to this point. Obviously, if I want a successful Patreon campaign, especially one that keeps on going, I'm gonna have to do more stuff. So here's some of the new content that's planned. Some of it's I've already set in stone, but a lot of it is still sort of up for negotiation. Depends on what you guys want. Feel free to leave suggestions in the comments below if I don't mention anything. So some of the new stuff that we are going to do is we are going to actually go into programming. Now, obviously you might not have noticed this because my videos have just been level design and environment art, or more level design stuff, but I am proficient in programming, believe it or not. So the programs that we'll be using at least in the beginning, will be Unity, of course, because a lot of my videos have been used. I do use Unity, so makes sense that we would have Unity programming tutorials. C# only, by the way. I'm not very fluent in Unity script, so C# would be the first thing that we would go through. The other program that I would like to use actually is Game Maker. Now, I was a little bit concerned about using Game Maker for tutorials, but this seems to have come up in popularity. Me personally, I haven't used Game Maker since 2008, 2009, which was the last version back then was Game Maker 8.1 or something like that. So it's come a long way actually. So gear up for Unity and Game Maker tutorials. So those are coming. What else is there? We've got some visual design stuff going as well. So things like character environment design, we'll be going through some of that. I have my personal style, as every artist would, but obviously with all our different styles, you can take some aspects of it and you can sort of put it together with other things and mix and match different techniques. We'll be exploring different techniques and how I do things, and really my own personal technique I've sort of taken from other artists and sort of adapted them to form my own personal style. So there you go. But that's just, you know, the initial stuff like concept art and things like that. Maybe not so much illustration. If you do really want to see illustration videos, so some of the high-end, well-polished images, you know what? Leave a comment if you really want to see those kind of videos, because I'll do my best to slot in a time for those things, but I will say that they take up a fair amount of time. But apart from the initial design stuff, one of the other things, actually one of the key things that I want to put on is actual game asset creation. So 3D and 2D design, in-game design stuff. So, you know, building environments, sprite sheets, tile sets, 3D characters. Now, here's the thing about the Patreon campaign. One of my funding goals for it, as a sneak preview, is to actually have guest tutors come in to pick up on things that I wouldn't normally be good at, or at least to give a sort of another perspective on something that I teach. So definitely I have a more anime manga style sort of 2D character design. I know a lot of people don't go for that. I do have friends in the industry that have a more Western comic book style or photorealistic style, so they'll definitely be able to pitch in and help you guys out. But really, it's all about technique and sort of adapting it to your own style. But of course, if you want to like get somebody else's or another artist's perspective or another programmer's perspective, then of course, if we can reach that funding goal, then I can definitely make that happen. And of course, one thing that I haven't seen, at least not a lot of it, in a lot of these game development tutorials, mainly because it isn't games development per se, is the business side of it. So I want to share with you guys some of the experiences that I've had in not just the business side of games development, but business in general. So when you're putting together a team, who should you choose? If you're looking to outsource, what should you look for? Things like that. But also things like dynamics, like working out, you know, who should be asking all the questions, when should you have an all-in agreement or a democratic sort of vote. There are particular points in time when you sort of want something to happen quickly, and there are certain times when you want to really discuss things. So I want to sort of go through all that with you guys. So just to recap, the stuff that's coming in 2016, all right? So we've got more content, so not just level design stuff. We're going to be doing programming in Unity, Game Maker. I didn't mention this earlier, but Unreal, if and when we reach a certain funding goal. I do have my funding goals set out, but my rewards, not so much. So I'd like to have your input actually when it comes to setting up the rewards. So really, at the end of the day, the rewards are for your benefit, not for my benefit. So if you guys can think of reasonable rewards for funding my Patreon campaign, that would be great, because right now I'm kind of stuck on letting you guys have access to Patreon only posts. So definitely I'd like your suggestions when it comes to that. One of the new things as well is a gaming channel where I'm not just going to do a typical Let's Play. I want to do something different, and that's I want to have a look at what makes the game so interesting, or where can the game developers sort of improve the game in the future. So a little bit of a look under the hood sort of experience into Let's Plays rather than just me playing video games. So some new content, some art stuff, some programming stuff, and new gaming channel. That's all coming in 2016. For now, have a great holiday. Just take the whole month off. You guys shouldn't really be working. You guys should be having fun. Try to stay off the drinks as much as possible, guys. We want to live healthy. But for now, this is Kyle Reza signing off.